The information I'm going to share with you in this video about the US economy is going to be nothing short of frightening. But at the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys two investing opportunities that are once in a lifetime and one that has been around and that will guarantee you 15% annualized return. Let's start this video off with Warren Buffett. As you all know, Warren Buffett has been massively sharing a bunch of shares in many of his companies. We can see that he holds 25% of his portfolio in cash, $88 billion. Now, why is that? If you look at the Buffett indicator itself, what is the Buffett indicator? It is the total US stock market value divided by the GDP. And we can see that the stock market is valued 200%, 2 times the GDP of America. If you look at this chart, we can see that the stock market has not been this highly valued since the 1999 bubble. It is nowhere near the fairly valued historical average or where it's supposed to be trading. A lot of you may think America is one of the fastest growing countries, but that is far from the truth. If you look at the 10-year annual growth rate forecasted, America is not even in the top 10 countries. It is the 20th fastest growing country, growing its GDP, projected to grow its GDP at a 1.4% for the following 10 years. Now let's take a look at the average American consumption. If you look at this chart, Americans continue to spend their money. But if you look at their personal savings is going down. There's had a huge spike of when the stimulus checks started hitting in 2020 when COVID happened. But the problem is they have spent all that money, and at the same time, they continue to grow their debt. We can see this little curve when they got that stimulus check, but they spent it all right away and continue getting new credit and spending money they don't have. Very popular topic is unemployment rate. So if you look at this chart, we can see that the unemployment rate is starting to go up. And a frightening thing is that if you look at what type of employment there is, if we look at full-time versus part-time employment, we can see that the full-time employment rate here is starting to go down while the part-time employment is starting to go up. Now, you might think, oh, this is because people are in school or people are trading or people have other stuff. But no, 42% of these jobs is not voluntary. It's for other reasons. Maybe people can't find the jobs they're looking for. But the truth is, this curve, we can see that it happened in 2008, the big crash, the financial crisis. Look at inflation. So we all know that in 2020, the Fed printed a crap load of money, so it caused inflation to go up. So now it is finally starting to go down. But if you look at this chart, we can see the currency in circulation. So in 2020, when they started printing the money, it went from $1.7 trillion in circulation up to $2.3 trillion now. And we can see they are still slowly printing money, but not as dangerously as it was before. If you look at this chart right here, this brings us back as debt as a part of GDP. We can see America, 120% of their GDP is in debt. So they have 20% more debt than they do gross domestic product than they are earning every year. And we want to invest into healthy economies and healthy countries. And if you look at this, America and Canada aren't looking as healthy as, for example, China, which has only 77% debt up as a part of GDP, and India, which only has 83%. Now, if you made it this far in the video, you have the attention span to watch this video, All in Summit, Ray Dalio on the Rise and Fall of Nations and the Changing World Order. Now, if you do not want to read his book, which is fantastic, The Changing World Order, where he talks about the different economies rising and the change in world order and why America is not in the best position possible, I believe this video has a great summary and talks about very many things about the US economy, China economy, and what the future is looking like. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Here is your reward. 3 of my favorite investments right now. First off, let's talk about China. So if you look at the Buffett indicator, stock market value divided by the GDP. So stock market value is 200% of the GDP in America. How much is it in China? Under 50%, 43%. I believe the stock market in China is extremely undervalued, and the companies trading on the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange like Alibaba, Baidu, PDD are undervalued. And to learn more about them, I made a video. Check it out on the best ETFs. We cover a lot of them, and we cover the main players in the tech industry in China right now. Just because the Chinese economy is growing, it doesn't mean all of their stocks are going to grow. We still need to be very particular in what exact industries and what exact stocks we choose when investing in anything. Now the second one, no surprise, Brookfield. Warren Buffett himself is the CEO of this company, is the chairman of the company. If we compare it to BN, to VU, the S&P 500, it is no comparison at all. BN is up 5,000%, while VU is up 400%. The whole motto of BN is, for the last 30 years, they have delivered 15% plus annualized return to shareholders, including dividends and returns. And the thing is, they are now more positioned to do this than ever before. I encourage you guys to check out their Investor Day presentation on their website. I can leave a link below in the description. And the main thing is, I did talk about them in one of my videos about Brookfield Renewables, which is a part of BN. Renewable energy is growing like crazy, and it is the future. And Brookfield is a massive, massive player, investing hundreds of billions of dollars in it. Check it out. And now the third one, of course, is Bitcoin. Love it or hate it, there's only 21 million Bitcoins out there, and there will never be more. And it's not, Bitcoin isn't just in America. If we look at how many people own Bitcoin in different countries, America is the third largest one with 52 million Americans owning Bitcoin. China is second, and India is by far first with 93 million people owning Bitcoin in China. Now, there's many reasons people buy Bitcoin, and for example, one is 41% of Brazilians own cryptocurrency. Why is that? They say they plan to purchase crypto coins because their traditional currency has devalued against the US dollar. The problem with any currency is they are centralized and there can be more printed, and that is the best thing about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is considered a commodity. There can be never more Bitcoin. So if you own one Bitcoin, you own something only 21 million, one of the 21 million pieces. There's more millionaires in the world than Bitcoin. The main piece of advice I can give you about Bitcoin is store it on a ledger. Because when you have a hardware wallet, you actually own the Bitcoin. And if, for example, you use crypto.com and buy it on crypto.com and crypto.com crashes, all your cryptocurrency is gone. If you transfer it to your wallet, it is safe. Same for Wealthsimple, Binance, whatever exchanges there are. If you're interested in investing in China, I highly encourage you guys to watch this video because I talk about all the best ETF options there is to buy, from ETFs like the S&P 500s of China to the QQQs, and with low expense ratios, the best of the best of the best. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.